Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah if you're new here. I started this channel to document my journey becoming a single mother by choice by going through IVF after getting diagnosed with endometrial cancer and PCOS. I am now cancer-free, but if you would like to follow along on my journey, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload new videos. Welcome to my 27 and 28 week bump date. I have a lot to update you guys on, well, one major thing. But so for my 27th week, I just noted that the movements are getting like huge. I've used the word huge and even more often. At the very beginning of the 27th week, I did capture another video. It was actually the first time I saw a quote unquote roll with my belly. And now I'm getting them all the time, but I was able to capture the first one on video that I actually saw. So I'll insert that here. Hopefully you can see it. I know it's kind of hard to tell in videos, but that's that. And round ligament pain in the pelvic area is more, I'm experiencing that more often, especially if I'm like up walking around a lot. I just notice I just am like, my groin is just really sore. And yeah, it makes it kind of like uncomfortable to walk around. My acid reflux, I always want to say reflux. My acid reflux in my 27th week was not quite as bad, I noted, but I'm making it a point not to eat past 6:30 p.m. And I'm taking Tums before bed. So that could have something to do with it, but I have also noticed that when I eat red sauce, and I'm Italian, so like I love pasta, and I made my grandma's like homemade pasta sauce, sausage, meatballs, all like, oh God, so good. But I noticed that when I made that and ate it, that my acid reflux was worse. So I think it's like, I've noticed that when it's like tomatoes, like acidic things, make my acid reflux worse, and that makes sense. I did throw up once during this week when I was brushing my teeth one morning. For whatever reason, getting my green drink down is still an issue, but I just will not give that up. So I just make myself drink that every single morning. It's just something that I dread now, which I never dreaded before, but it's like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I have to go drink my green drink. And it like is a process because I have to like drink it slowly and then take breaks and maybe eat something like in between because I gag a lot with that. In my 28th week, I started experiencing a little bit of low back pain. And then I also noted in my 28th week, that's when I started not being able to sleep through the night. I wake up like anywhere between, it can be anywhere between like 1 a.m. and 3 or 4 p.m. or a.m. I just wake up and my mind is racing about all the things I need to do, and I can't go back to sleep. And a lot of times I end up like going online and researching things or like that I need, or trying to figure out what I need to do, what else I need to do before the baby comes. So I don't know. I think actually last night I slept, no, I did wake up a little bit. Some nights are worse than others. Like some nights I'll wake up and be able to go back to sleep right away, and some nights I'm up for like an hour to 2 hours. So that's new for me. I've never had insomnia before or anything like that. So I'm usually able to sleep like 8 to 10 hours a night, no problem. So that's definitely the pregnancy, I know. My acid reflux, I just experiencing that occasionally during this week. There was one morning, I think I felt him hiccuping because it was like little movements that lasted a couple minutes, and it was just, you know, a lot of little movements. So I'm pretty sure that was hiccuping. But other than that, like, I know I keep saying this, but it's just like every day his movements, obviously he's getting bigger, so his movements are getting bigger. And I just, like, a lot of times, like, I'll look down and it's like, I haven't captured any of like the bigger movements yet. But you can definitely see like a lot going on when he's moving around. And I definitely feel him moving at least every hour during the day, multiple times during the hour. So, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about this weird dream I had. It was so weird. It was like scary, but during, like, in the moment, but, I was at the mall, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I had a seam in my skin, like just this little seam, like right under my chest, like in my belly. And he like opened up the seam and stuck his little head out. And I was telling him that it was too early and he had to go back in. And he looked up at me and he was like, "But I love you and I want to come out now." And I said, "Nope, you get back in there." But he wouldn't listen to me. But I was like, in the dream, I was like freaking out because I'm like, I knew it was too early for him to come. So, but he ended up coming out, and he was kind of like rooting around, and then he started nursing for a little bit. And then in my dream, I remember thinking that, it was slightly uncomfortable when he was nursing, but it wasn't. I remember thinking in my dream, oh my gosh, this isn't nearly as bad as everybody says it is. So that was interesting. But then I talked him into going back in, and then we closed up the seam. So that was my interesting dream for the week. But I had my ultrasound, I was having them monthly to check on my vasa previa. And during the ultrasound, I could tell something was wrong because the ultrasound tech was really focusing on his abdomen area. Like during these ultrasounds, they also like do like measure everything, as well as check, you know, to make sure, or to see if the blood vessels are still by my cervix, and they measure the length of my cervix. But I could just tell something was wrong. It was taking a really long time, and the techs aren't, you know, you can ask them what's wrong or what's going on, and most of the time they won't tell you. So she didn't tell me. So she finally, when we were done, she left the room, and then she came back a little while later, and she said that I needed to do a non-stress test. And so I started like worrying because I didn't understand why. And then they told me that, so I guess at this point in the pregnancy, babies should have some like practice breathing motions. So they're not really breathing, obviously, but it's like their lungs are practicing breathing. And apparently they didn't see those movements with him. So they did, I think it's called a biophysical profile, I want to say, BPP, when they measured him and everything. And they told me that he was measuring really small, and he got diagnosed with intrauterine growth restriction. Sorry. So when I was doing the non-stress test, it was just really scary. You know, I'm alone. They left me alone in this room, and they told me to click the button every time he moved, that I felt him move. And I still don't understand completely what it was. I think it was making sure that his heart rate was elevated whenever he would move. So I was doing this for like 40 something minutes. They only came in to check on me like a couple times, and it just was really scary because my mind is like going all over the place with the intrauterine growth restriction diagnosis now, and I just want him to be okay. But the phone call, so like the doctor wasn't there. So I had to wait for him to call me because he was reviewing the images and everything remotely. So he called me and told me all this. And he said that with IUGR, it's like they don't know if it's something that they need to be like really concerned about, or if it's just that he's a little small or very small. So he's measuring in like the 5th percentile. So like up until, like I just had that fetal echocardiogram a couple weeks ago, and he was measuring like a little on the small side, but definitely not 5th percentile. So obviously his growth has slowed down, and they're very concerned about that. And they think it's because of the vasa previa, that he is not getting all of the nutrients from the umbilical cord because of that. And like, of course, if you Google IUGR, you see so much of like, oh, women who smoke and drink and do drugs and don't take their prenatals and all this stuff. Obviously, I don't do any of that. And I take my prenatals every day along with my million other supplements. I try to eat pretty well. I feel like I'm doing everything I can and everything right. And so like, I was kind of blaming myself at first, like, what am I doing wrong? But I just have to think positively that he's gonna be okay. So they said that I have to go every single week now for an ultrasound and a non-stress test. So I'll basically be going to the doctor like 2 to 3 times every single week, because I have to go for my OB appointment too. And it just depends on if I can do, like I can't do the ultrasound and the non-stress test on the same day. So we have to separate those, and it just depends if they'll be able to do like my non-stress tests when I go for my OB appointments, but those are only every other week. So I have to go on the off weeks anyways. But so apparently he has asymmetrical IUGR. His head is measuring normal, like normal size. And I have my appointment with my OB next week, and I'm going to ask him lots of questions, because I think that is good. That means that his brain is, developing well at least. But I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it. I was researching a lot, and it just upset me, so I decided to stop. But it's just a lot to take in, because it's just one more thing for me to have to worry about. But I'm like trying not to worry about it, because I just want to like trust he'll be okay. But they did say like the reason they're going to monitor me so closely and him so closely is if they see that there's an issue with him growing, like if he really stops growing, that they would want to schedule my C-section even earlier, and that he would grow better outside in the NICU. And I'm very grateful that, that I am in the Cleveland Clinic system, and it's like pretty much the best place you can be for intensive neonatal intensive care. And I hope I'm saying that right. So I'm thankful for that, but I just can't even fathom like them taking him from me, and him being in the NICU. Like, I know so many women go through that and deal with that, and it's something that just happens sometimes that you can't control, obviously, but I just really don't want that for him. So I'm really hoping that he continues to grow, and even though he's small, maybe starts to grow a little bit more each week, and eventually catches up, maybe get into like the 15th percentile or 20th percentile. And I'm able to keep him in there as long as possible. So, sorry to get emotional with you guys again. Oh, I forgot to mention that I had my baby shower last week, and it was wonderful. I'll insert a couple pictures of the venue here. I'm not going to put too many pictures. I don't want to put any pictures of like my friends and stuff because I don't know if they want to be on YouTube. But it was really lovely. It was beautiful. My mom threw it for me, and I'm just so thankful for that. It couldn't have been more perfect weather. Like all of the doors were open and the breeze was coming in, and I got so many wonderful things, and it was lovely. So I'm really feeling the nesting right now. I did a lot this weekend, although I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to, I don't think I can exercise anymore due to the IUGR, and I really should just be taking it easy as much as possible, but I'm definitely in the mode of like wanting to get everything ready in the nursery and set. When I'm done with my nursery, I will show you guys. But I get stressed out when I think about like sharing my registry and like trying to link things for you guys or like showing you everything. Like, I think I just want to wait till my nursery's done. I'll do a nursery tour and show you, you know, the things that I have then. But I hope you guys can understand. It's just going through a lot right now, and I'm trying to take some things off my plate, but I did want to get this update out to you guys, of course. So I'll end this video with my 28-week bump shot. Thank you guys for all of your love and support. I think I might turn the comments off on this video. I'm just a little overwhelmed with everything, and I just might leave the comments turned off for a while just because I don't want to stress myself out trying to respond to everybody, and I just have a lot on my plate. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.